We live in a twilight world. So here we are, man. Let's do a quick recording. There's not really much going on at this moment in time. Not my end anyway. And not with the topics that I focus on. Yeah, man, it's been very quiet. It's been quiet for a couple of months. Of course, there's stuff going on. There's always stuff going on, of course. But what I mean is in regards to things I can debunk, illusion warfare, boots on the ground reports and that. Stuff I can sink my teeth into, and fictions that I can kind of eliminate. Fictions I can destroy. Timelines I can collapse. This kind of stuff. Not much is going on whatsoever. So, yeah, man. But, we've got to be grateful for these quiet times, man. And, we can just get out and about. Like this little video here. This is, a day at the beach. I filmed this a couple of days ago. Might have been last week, actually. I don't really keep track of time like that. But I will say this is filmed on a new action camera I bought. So that's a thank you to the Patreons. I don't make a lot of money on Patreon, but the little money I do make, I always, I'm a man of my word. I've always said I will put it back into equipment used for illusion warfare reports and stuff. And yeah, man, I bought this handy little action camera. It's one you can wear around your neck. Here's a sun halo there. But yeah, man, one you can wear around your neck, and one that's quite it can magnetize as well, and it's very small. Don't get me wrong, I love my other action camera. It's the best action camera that exists on the planet, but this one is a bit more discreet. It's for discreet filming. So places like airports or when there's police around, you don't be walking around with an obvious action camera that you've got to hold in the shape of a gun. It'd be good to have the little thin, discreet one you can just wear around your neck or clip onto your shoulder bag or something like that, for that discreet filming. But I'll talk more about the action camera in a separate video later on in the week, because it's quite an interesting camera. There's a few things I want to point out about it. And of course, it keeps the Patreons in the loop of what I use the little bit of Patreon, the Patreon money for. So, yeah, man. But yeah, anyway, back to it. What's going on in the world? Not much. Today/yesterday, we had the UK elections, and they've changed party. The red team is now in. And I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but the whole red-blue thing, I've covered it before in the past. It has something to do with time travel. Red is usually us moving forward in time. Blue is us moving back. This obviously all goes back to the film Tenet and how Tenet is broke down. And when you draw Tenet out in like a diagram, you use red for the forward timeline and blue for the backwards timeline. Some people are calling this the Red Dawn. Labour are meant to be representative of the working class. Obviously they're not. They have not been for a long time or ever. They're meant to be a lot more socialist and all this kind of bollocks, So, yeah, man, people are calling it a Red Dawn. And then, of course, we need the little child of Great Britain, the USA, to put Trump into power, the Republicans, and then that also will be another red wave. And there you go. In France, it's looking like the far right, Le Pen's National Rally Party are getting in. I don't know what colour they've got. I believe they might be blue. Don't quote me on that. I don't think they're red. So it'll be red in Britain, red in the USA, and some sort of navy blue in France. But anyway, things are changing. New characters are coming in. I think once the Olympics are over, I think it's going to be back to the focus of World War 33, Ukraine. I think the next phase of that will probably kick off. Who knows what that will be? I don't know. Will something go down at the Paris Olympics? Maybe. You see, they've done a very, very peculiar thing in that their current prime minister or president, whatever the fuck he's called, Macron, pulled a snap election now, before the Olympics. And a lot of people are saying, like, well, why the fuck would you do that? Surely you'd get the Olympics out of the way first, right? That makes sense. Let the Olympics go by, everyone's on a high after the Olympics, then pull in your election. But no, he's done it before. And if you're aware what has been happening or said to have been happening, of course, you know, I've been to France many times to cover this phony writing and stuff. But yeah, every time the supposed far right move up the political ladder or get voted in, the extreme far left allegedly are taken to the streets and running down the road, setting things on fire, shooting off fireworks. Theatrical, obviously, but it's portrayed as rioting to the everyday average person, yeah? So you never know. The far right might get in, and the so-called extreme left might just be running around causing chaos, which may overlap with the opening ceremony of the Olympics. Of course, the opening ceremony of the Olympics in Paris is meant to be on the River Seine, and there's already talk of that being pulled off due to a concern about a terrorist attack from Putin and Russia. So, you know, the potential there for some world stage theatre, some illusion operations, some staged Op Gladio style nonsense is there, man. I'm kind of would like that, you know, not to sound sick or dark. I know it's all theatre. I know no one's going to get harmed. It gives me a bit of an adventure to go to places like this because yeah, man, it's been very quiet for me. There's nothing really for me to sink my teeth into right now. Very, very quiet. All quiet on the Western Front. So, yeah. Other than that, yeah, man, I can't really give you any updates. I'm not really looking at anything. In regards to the UK politics, I have no idea about the new guy, about what they're supposedly pushing forward. I can obviously give you, I can tell from experience it'll be the same old bullshit they do everywhere in every country. We're going to confront crime. We're going to boost the economy. We're going to tackle immigration. And we're going to save the NHS. They always say this. Yeah? And it'll all be time for change. Change is needed. Bring on a change. Change now. We need change. I guarantee you, nothing in your life will change. Nothing of substance will change. They might do something like lower the price of petrol at the petrol pumps. Lower the price of petrol and diesel to create the illusion like, oh, wow, look, this must be our new government. They're making changes already. Look how low the petrol is. Or the price of milk might go down and people are, wow, look, change is happening, you know. Or it creates the illusion of change. But nothing of substance in your day-to-day life will change. You're still going to have to wake up every morning, put on your socks, and go about your business, yeah? All they've changed is the characters, the actors that are standing up upon the political world stage. Yeah. You know, I took a quick look on Twitter earlier on, and people are making mad predictions. They're saying, you know, mobilization in the UK, conscription, all this kind of stuff, all because of this the new lot in. I don't know, man. You know, I think for me and for most of you guys that resonate with the mad shit I say, most of you are either fully out or halfway out of that illusion, and you're kind of living in your own reality, making your own reality happening, and you're not too fussed about what the Westworld robots are doing in their Westworld fantasy narrative. Yeah? When they say a conscription, that's not going to come my way. I'm too old, I've got a criminal record, and they wouldn't even be able to find me anyway. I mean, what are they going to do? Send me an email? Ask me to come into their local fucking army recruitment office or something. It's just not going to work. You know? I don't, this whole idea of a conscription. This whole idea of a conscription, okay? Put it like this. If Britain declared war on Russia, on the Federation of Russia, and there was a call to arms, there's a large percentage of men and women in the UK, and this applies to everyone around the world, that are so miserable and bored with their lives that they would jump to the opportunity to partake in this live action role play of a war. They'll subconsciously want the war to be real, because this for them will be the first time in their lives they're going to have some adventure. Do you know what I'm saying? For them, this will be the first time in their lives they're going to be someone. They're going to do something. They're going to have their own hero's journey, their own mythology. And I can't really knock them for that, because the world can be a very boring place, especially if you're a normie or you're a truther. So for them to gravitate towards fiction, to them of their own free will, wanting to participate, I can kind of see their motives, because like I said, for their miserable, boring little lives, this is the first time they're going to have some adventure. They get to put on the costume, they're going to have a gun, they're going to be playing out this fantasy that they're going to go save the world. In their heads, they're thinking they're going to come back a hero, and all the women are going to be falling at their feet because they've done the right thing and all this kind of shit. Yeah? So that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a percentage of men and women that will jump at the opportunity to participate in this illusion. And I even seen that when I was in Ukraine. I seen that firsthand, the amount of foreign men that were there, from Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Britain, France, Spain, Portugal. They all turned up to jump in on this war in Ukraine. Yeah? Because they want some adventure in their lives. There's no adventure in their lives. So we got to sympathise with that a little bit. Equally, on the other side of that, there's a large percentage of men and women here in the UK and across the world that never ever in a million years would be able, just physically be able to do basic soldiering. Yeah? If you haven't looked around, the modern human is not doing too well. Yeah? They've all got fucking terrible sight where they've grown up on the Black Mirror. Their necks are all buckled where they've been looking at the Black Mirror so long. They've all got gammy legs where they don't run and do any fitness. They're all either slightly overweight or underweight. They've either got asthma, long COVID, ADHD, autism. And then, of course, there's another large percentage that are just mentally ill, Think of all these young people that believe in like climate change and stuff like that, who have depression and anxiety because of climate change. How are you going to convince, they're marching down the street every other weekend saying we need to stop fossil fuels and all that kind of shit. You think you're going to and that we need to bomb Israel and save Palestine and all this kind of shit. How are you're not going to be able to convince them to pick up a rifle and go and participate in the war. So this whole forced conscription thing, it's not going to be what the doomsayers and the warriors and that think it's going to be. There's only going to be a tiny percentage of young men that are going to, be physically able to do it, and they're going to have to do it. You've got to want to do it. Forced conscription doesn't work. It just creates problems, right? What good is look, you and I know all these wars are fake and engineered, but for the sake of this conversation, let's go along with war being real. What good is a whole fucking battalion of troops that don't want to be there, that have been forced to be there against their will, that are anti-war? They're not going to fight your war, are they? They're not going to shoot the enemy. They're going to shoot off target. They're going to reload really slow. They're going to deliberately fail every fitness test. They're going to deliberately fail every combat competency test. They're going to deliberately fail every marksmanship test. They're going to deliberately fail every uniform and kit, care and management test. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen. We live in a very, very different age. And as I've always said with things like World War One and World War Two, I don't think the numbers that they're telling us right now in this current day and age are accurate to what the numbers actually were. All this business of 60,000 troops dying in one day and a million men being mobilized and all this kind of shit, I don't think that's an accurate number. I think it's probably way less. People don't want to go to war. You can't make them go to war. It doesn't work. you know, 4 or 5 battalions of people that don't want to be there, that you've kidnapped or you've forced against their will to take part in a war they don't want to take part in. What good is that? That's useless. That's not going to be a good soldier, is it, anyway? So let's wrap this video up. It's meant to be a short one. It's only meant to be 15 minutes, and we're coming to the end. Yeah. I hope everyone's having a good time in life. I hope everyone's reducing their time on the Black Mirror, getting out in the sunshine, enjoying the physical reality of nature, and time away from the false realities and fictions and the poison of that. We live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.